Hey there, let me ask you something. What do you do right before you click submit on that application? Do you pause or do you just hope everything is correct? Think about everything you've invested. You strengthened your resume, you tailored it to the employee, you crafted a thoughtful cover letter, and then in the final 60 seconds, you accidentally upload the wrong file. Oh my goodness. You see a misspelled word just as you hit the button. You forget to update your LinkedIn profile. Oh my goodness. Or skip a required application question. Look, here's the truth. Last 5 minutes of your application are just as important as the first 5 hours. I know I used to say a little prayer, okay? Small mistakes can create big consequences, not because you're unqualified, but because you moved too fast. Today, with the help of AI, I'm going to build a complete pre-submission checklist that you can use before every application. We'll verify your resume and cover letter, your file names, review your LinkedIn profile, check your email message, confirm your application responses, record the submission date, and schedule your follow-up. Yes, you need to do follow-up because the goal isn't just to submit your application. The goal is to submit it with confidence. Every application, every time, no surprises. All right, look, welcome to Daily AI Prompts for Job Seekers, the evening edition for the month of July. I'm William Craig III, an AI business and career consultant. If you're new to the series, my mission is really simple: to help you run your job search like a well-organized job campaign, one with clarity, confidence, and strategy, using AI as your job campaign manager. All righty, let's get this party started and share the prompt. And our prompt today says, create a final application packet template using Mary's accounts payable, accounts receivable manager role as an example. Include resume file name, cover letter file name, LinkedIn profile check, email message, application questions, submission date, and follow-up date. Also, explain why checking your LinkedIn profile matters before every submission. I thought you guys might want to know that as well. All righty, so let's get chat to help us out. And what I want you to understand here is that having a checklist, it safeguards you. I have I have hit submit on things and said, "Oh my, that wasn't right." And we don't always have the opportunity to call it back, to recall it or pull it back. Once it's gone, it's gone. Now we have to explain. Now we have to send a follow-up message. And if you're using some of the applicant tracking systems, it won't let you. Sorry, you've already applied for this position. Oh no. All righty. Chat is finished. Only thought for a couple of seconds. Oh my. Absolutely. Here's a final application packet template using Mary's accounts payable, accounts receivable manager application as the example. And I'm creating the template for you so that you can use it over and over again. So you won't have to go back and do the same prompt every time. All right. So let's take a look here. And when we get to the point where we're starting to share about agents, then you'll actually have your agent checking this information for you. How cool does that sound? Huh? All right, but we got to walk before we run. I need you to understand the concepts, understand the whys behind the concepts so that we can get these done. So here's our final application packet template. And of course, in this case, the candidate is Mary Mack. Our target role, the accounts payable, accounts receivable manager position that we just looked at over the last few days at Elo Touch Solutions. I was very much surprised to learn that Elo Touch Solutions is the company that created the touch for laptops and iPads and etc. and other tools that we use at restaurants, etc. They created the touch screen. That's what I'm trying to say, the touch screen. Didn't know that, but here we go. By doing our research, we found that out. All right, let's go. They're in Richardson, Texas. Been down that way. Nice folks down there. Resume file name, recommended file name, Mary Mac AP AR Manager Resume ELO Touch Solutions. Now, let me just park for just a moment. This is important because if you do not properly name your files, what's going to happen is probably two things. Number one, you may send out the wrong resume, and trust me on this. I've heard the stories over the years. But number two, it makes it hard for you to find the correct resume. I can't tell you how many job candidates I have been working with, I've been coaching, and I say, okay, let's pull up your resume. And they spend 5, 10, 15 minutes just trying to find the correct resume. And I'm going, I mean, didn't you save it? Now, first off, did you save it to the desktop? Well, if your desktop looks like mine, all right, I get it. But you should have a folder. You should have a folder, and you should be saving them. And as you're making your iterations, you should have something that lets you know that this one, because people will say final, and then they'll go in and they'll find something and they'll look, name your files correctly. You won't have to worry about trying to find the correct file, and you won't have to worry about sending out the wrong file to someone else. All right. Why this works, chats. Clear file names make the document easy for recruiters, hiring managers, and internal teams to identify. That's the other thing, because when they see your file, they will know exactly whose resume this is, whose information this is. It includes the candidate name, target role, and company name without being too long or confusing. Cover letter file name. Same deal. This keeps the cover letter connected to the same targeted application packet and avoids generic labels like cover letter final or resume updated version 3. That's what I was alluding to just a moment ago. All right. You want to make sure that it's clear as crystal, as they say, not clear as mud. All right. LinkedIn profile check. Before submitting, review Mary's LinkedIn profile for alignment with the resume and cover letter. So what items should you be checking in LinkedIn? To make sure that the headline reflects AR, AP, accounting operations, reconciliations, collections, and financial process support. I got to tell you, we're going to be covering LinkedIn next week. All right, so hang in there, because there's some things that I do that are just different. And when I say different, they're not strange. I have a very complete and robust way of approaching LinkedIn because there are several parts to it. All right. And we'll talk more about that. The about section, so very important. The about section is where you're able, here we go, to talk about you, but in a way that helps to tell the story and, wait for it, sell the story. Okay, facts tell, stories sell. So we want to sell the story, but we also want to have factoids in there that help people understand from a human viewpoint. The resume is more robotic. The resume is static. But in our about section on our LinkedIn profile, we can be more of ourselves. And for my some of my clients that are in my acceleration club, well, for all of the folks who are in the acceleration club, I actually create a separate website, a personal website for you. And we get to say a whole lot of great things about you and take the information from your resume and display it in a very different format, but in a way that is professional, clean, and really shows that you're the caliber of person that they want to be considering. All right. Experience section includes strong ARAP language and does not conflict with the resume. I've seen it all, and I've seen this where when you look at the resume, you look at the LinkedIn profile, it's like, is this the same person? We don't want to have that happen. Skills section includes relevant keywords such as accounts payable, accounts receivable, reconciliations, invoicing, collections, QuickBooks, SAP financials, Excel, month-end close, journal entries, and financial reporting. Now we have 2,600 characters that we can use for our about section. Guess what? I've got 2,600 characters. It might be 25.99, but you get the point. We want to use all of them. We want to use all of them. I do an audit with my clients, and we get 2,600 characters. You got 1,200 or 300. No, that's not going to fly. And the right keywords and phrases, again, telling the story. Let's see where we have here. The career break, if visible, is handled professionally and consistently. Some of you have career breaks. What's a career break? Well, that's where you were not employed for a period of 6 months or more. So we need to include a career break, and we need to handle it professionally and consistently. Profile photo and banner are professional and current. Banner, that's that big gray space that many people have behind their profile picture. Or they have something, maybe they went and there was a hot air balloon festival in Arizona. And so they took a picture because it was majestic. It was beautiful. Has nothing to do with what you do as a job candidate. Okay. So it shouldn't be there. All right. Save that, blow that up, put it on your wall, but not for your LinkedIn profile banner. And contact information is accurate, and recent activity supports a professional job search brand. Recent activity supports a professional job search brand. We got to make sure that your brand, part of this, and I was working with my kids today at the summer camp, and we talked about the fact that although they're putting together presentations, they are a presentation because they represent their brand. How they look represents their brand. People will come to a conclusion about you just by what they see before they ever hear you say anything. And so as we are doing what we're doing to promote ourselves in the marketplace, we have to make sure that we're on brand. All righty, not much to go. We're almost done today. LinkedIn status before submission. And so we got boxes to check. Reviewed, updated, needs revision, not applicable. We've got notes, places where we can take notes for ourselves. And then the email message. Application for accounts payable, accounts receivable manager, Mary Mack. Email, hello, hiring team. I'm pleased to submit my application for the accounts payable, accounts receivable manager position with ELO Touch Systems. My background includes accounts receivable, yada. I was especially drawn to this role because of its focus on full cycle global. We went through this, remember? Now, you might be saying, well, William, do you always get an opportunity to use this? No, but it's like the cover letter. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. I welcome the opportunity to bring my experience, accuracy, and follow through to your team. Thank you for your time and consideration. And then we have application questions. Use this section to capture answers before submitting the application. So, for example, and I've shared with you, when I do mock interviews, this is one of the questions, the similar question that I will ask. Why are you interested in this role? Also, why should I hire you? That's the other side of this question. But here we go. I'm interested in this role because it's so funny. And this is part of what I was sharing with my students in their presentations as they were making introductions. And we had guests today, some of the benefactors of the program, so that the program is free to the kids attending. My name is, and my topic is, here's why I chose it. Okay. So, and then we go forward. It's the same concept, but a little bit different. I'm interested in this role because here's why I chose this. You hear that? Here's why I chose this, because it aligns closely with my background in accounts receivable, accounts payable support, reconciliation. Why you're saying, well, William, aren't we being a bit redundant? Yes, we are. And we're doing it on purpose because, again, we want everything to be in alignment. And we have to do this. I wish we were live together in the same room so we could go back and forth on this. But you already know why you have to have this, because we did the research. We found out what are the keywords that they're looking for in general in the industry, and then specifically based on this job description. So this is why we have to make sure that while it sounds like, well, you're saying the same thing every time, but we're framing it differently. Yes, it's the same information, but it's framed differently. In this case, it's here's why I'm here. Here's why I'm applying. Here's why it'd be a good idea to talk to me, because of all of this stuff that I know you need and I know you're looking for. All righty. Question 2, what makes you qualified for this position? All right, here we go again, but we're going to reframe it. My experience includes reducing aging balances, collecting outstanding receivables, processing high volume invoices, reconciling payments, supporting journal entries, preparing financial documentation, and using accounting tools such as, now we're getting into the nitty gritty, QuickBooks, SAP Financials, and advanced Excel. I bring strong attention to detail. We know that detail matters to these people. Follow through and the ability to support accurate, timely accounting operations. And I would have even thrown something in there about reporting to upper management, because that was huge. I remember that. Describe your experience with accounts payable and accounts receivable. And this is I think this is going to be really helpful for some of you who get into an interview and you feel like, well, wait a minute, didn't they just ask me that question? And you're seeing here what the questions are different. While in your mind, it's the same information. Again, it's about how we frame it. So I have hands-on experience supporting both accounts receivable and accounts payable functions, including billings, collections, invoice, yada, yada, yada. My work has required accuracy, organization, problem solving, consistent communication with internal and external stakeholders. So we threw it in there. It's almost like chat is anticipating what well, it's been working with me for quite some time now. But here's the thing I also want you to understand. And I've said this, haven't said it in a while, but it's okay for you to have your 3x5 cards or your note. I got a portfolio. I'm not going to bend down and get it, but you can have your portfolio and you can have your 3x5 cards, whichever one works best for you. You can have tabs on your notepad for specific sections so that you can go right to it when a question is asked. Remember, the people interviewing you are going to be taking notes in some way, shape, or form. So it's okay for you to have notes. It's okay for you to take notes. All righty. Question 4, what accounting systems or tools have you used? And we get into the QuickBooks, Online Essential, SAP Financials, Advanced Excel. I've used these tools to support financial tracking, reconciliations, reporting, invoice management, account research, and documentation. And when we were going through our learning phase, we gotta rewind again under the live tab, go back, and you'll find where we're learning various tools to help strengthen our position as a candidate. All right, that's where this comes in, because maybe you didn't use SAP Financials in your previous tenure, but here we go, because you knew this is something that the industry is asking for, because we did that research. So now you go to, let's say, LinkedIn Learning, which you, in many cases, can access for free without that premium account. You can access it for free by way of your local library system. All right. And so now you go into LinkedIn Learning, we got over 15,000 courses, and you're taking the course for free on SAP Financials. So now, in your practicing, you're creating your own case studies. You can speak intelligently during an interview. I hope this all makes sense. Question 5, are you authorized to work in the United States? Question 6, what is your desired salary? Now, based on the role requirements and my experience, I'm open to discussing a salary that is aligned with the responsibilities of the position and the overall compensation structure for the team. This is a good way to approach this because in some states, it is required that a job posting actually shows the salary or the compensation, and not always the entire package, but at least the salary part of it. But that's not across all states in the United States. So there may be those times where you have no clue as to what the salary is. And so companies will ask you. Now, some people will say, well, William, if I tell them, might I disqualify myself? Yes. I'm just going to say it. Yes. If you're looking for whatever that number is, and that's not what they've budgeted for, then they may tell you that you're not a good fit. It wasn't because of you can't do the work or anything like that. It may simply be because of the salary. They're not willing to bend on salary. Now, there are other times where a company might offer you X amount of dollars and you want Y amount of dollars. And that's where now we have to go into negotiation, and we're going to talk about that. And there's a way to handle that. But when, look, if an offer has not been made, really there's no reason to discuss salary. The reason most companies will bring up salary before there's an offer made and early on in the process is because they want to see if you're going to cost too much, or to get their ducks in a row to see if you're within the range that they've targeted for this position, because sometimes it's about ranges. And so to see if you fall within the range. But here's what I need to say, bottom line. You need to know your value. You need to know what the job is worth. And again, that's more research. And we can talk about that another time. But you need to know and stick to your guns. I talk to people who feel like they've done something wrong if they ask for X. And you've done the research, you know the job is worth it, you know you're worth it, and you're look, you got to know your number. Okay, and that's all I'm gonna say on that for now. All right, submission date, when the application is being submitted. The platform, is it the company website? Is it by way of LinkedIn, Indeed, recruiter email, referral, or something else? Did you get a confirmation that they received your application? Any notes around that? Follow-up date, we recommend 5 to 7 business days after submission if you haven't heard something back. Specific follow-up date. So you count out 5 to 7. I would go with 5 business days out, and you pop that in there. Here's when you're going to be following up. What method are you going to follow up by? Email, LinkedIn message, recruiter contact, referral contact, a phone call, or something else. And then your first follow-up message, and they will be different. Okay, we talk about that. I don't know if we've talked about this at some point in the past year, but hello, I recently submitted my application for the accounts payable, accounts receivable manager position with Elo Touch Solutions. Wanted to follow up to express my continued interest. My background and you talk about all of that good stuff, appears closely aligned with the needs of the role. I would welcome the opportunity to discuss how my experience could support your accounting operations team. Thank you. Now, again, this is not one that I would simply take out of the box and use it. I would sprinkle my own flavoring in this, making sure that I keep the most important things, but perhaps adding a few other things as well to drive the point home. Final pre-submission checklist. Before clicking submit, confirm the following. You've tailored the resume to the specific role. Your cover letter names the company and the role, and if possible, you have a hiring manager's name. If you don't, use the recruiter name or the HR professional's name, whomever it is that you're dealing with, whoever's your point of contact. All right, they will ensure that it gets to the appropriate person. Resume and cover letter file names are professional according to what we've set up here. LinkedIn profile supports the same career story. Dates are consistent across resume and LinkedIn. That's a very important point. And we didn't talk about that earlier, but that's a great point. Because if your dates on your resume are different from your dates in your LinkedIn profile, there's a disconnect. And let me just tell you, yes, people will fact check you. Okay, they will fact check you. Contact information is correct. No decorative lines, text boxes, tables, pipes, or ampersands in the resume. Summary uses semicolons if written in sentence fragment style, which it should be. Strong ARAP keywords are included naturally. Application questions are answered clearly. Salary answer is prepared. Correct documents are uploaded. Submission confirmation is saved. Follow-up date is scheduled. All right. That's how we know that we're submitting a complete application. And now you can go to sleep. Okay. You can rest well. Now, here's why checking LinkedIn matters before every submission. And we really covered a lot of it already. But Chad says, let me ask you something. If your resume says one thing, your cover letter says another, and your LinkedIn profile tells a third story, what is the employer supposed to believe? That is why the LinkedIn check matters. Many employers do not stop at the resume. They look at LinkedIn to see whether the candidate's professional story is consistent, current, and credible. That middle word, current. So many people have a LinkedIn profile that's outdated. And I found out in sharing some information recently that at least one of my videos uh, is no longer available on LinkedIn. And I'm like, why? Well, this is my video. I uploaded it. So it just may simply mean that I need to go in and upload it again. Right? It was sometimes you may be using a link to a video that someone else provided, and that video is no longer, they've taken it down. But in my case, I uploaded the video from my own files. So it should still be there, but it's not. So that taught me a new lesson about LinkedIn, that I need to go in every so often and check to make sure that what I have uploaded is still there. Because for whatever reason, LinkedIn, and it may be a spatial issue, it just may be an algorithmic issue. I don't know what kind of issue it is, but it's something that I need to ensure to help me know that ensure that I check to make sure that everything is current. All right. Let's see here. Strong LinkedIn profile reinforces the application. A weak or outdated profile can quietly create doubt. And guess what? This is where people go away and they don't say anything else to you. For Mary, that means her LinkedIn should support the same ARAP manager story shown in the resume and cover letter. If the application says she is ready for accounts payable, accounts receivable, reconciliations, collections, reporting, et cetera, then LinkedIn should not make her look unfocused, outdated, or disconnected from that target. The resume gets her considered. The cover letter makes the connection. LinkedIn confirms the story. I hope that makes sense. This is how a candidate moves from just another applicant to this person looks prepared. This person is serious. We need to seriously consider this person. The takeaway is simple. Before every submission, check the whole packet, not just the resume. So many people just spend time on the resume, and then they don't even cover all the things that we covered as it relates to the resume, because employers are not only reviewing documents, they're reviewing alignment. And remember this, employers they're not hiring documents either. They're hiring people. All righty. So you want to show up in a way that is in alignment with everything that you have submitted. Just making sure that there's nothing else here. Okay. This can also be turned into a reusable one-page checklist for every client application packet. So, and that was the idea. All right, let's get this link and get us out of here. I don't know where you are, but where I am, we've got thunder boomers going on. Actually, hear the thunder, and it was raining just a moment ago. So, want you all to be safe. Glad that the internet hung in there with us. Here is the link to today's prompt, and I've got to go in. I'll probably do it over the weekend and update LinkedIn with this information, because since we're only going live on YouTube now, in order for them to see, in order for anyone to see them, I'll have to put it in there. And again, the idea is to have people to join me on YouTube. So that's why I've not been in a hurry to do that. So again, I hope this has been of value to you. Let's see, we got a couple of folks that popped up here. TJ Richardson, hey, TJ, so glad you're able to make it. TJ says, hello, everyone. Hope you had a great day and hope you have a wonderful evening. Dawn Lewis, hey, Dawn made it also. Good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday. Good evening to you, young lady. Glad you're able to make it. And TJ says, wow, be safe, everyone. Yes, be safe, everyone. Thunder boomers going across the country. This weather, huh? This weather has really been something. But listen, between now and tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time, tomorrow's Inspiration Friday. Please pay attention to what's going on around you. If you hear something, see something that seems out of place, let somebody know. Don't just take it for granted. Don't just run. Okay. Let somebody know while you're running. Okay. Hopefully you won't be in that situation. But if you are, that's what you should do. Let someone know. All righty. Be a difference maker. Also, remember these three things. And so tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time, God loves you. I love you. Nothing you can do about it. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Bye-bye now.
Wow, that was fantastic. I haven't been this excited to learn about something since I left basketball. Anyway, Mr. Craig did another great job of sharing an AI prompt that anyone can use in their job search. Be sure to join him every day, Monday through Friday at noon Eastern, on his LinkedIn profile or his YouTube channel called Get Up and Get a Job. You can watch the replays there as well. And while you're at it, share this information with someone you know who wants or needs a new job. I've got to run. My team needs me. But keep up the great work, Mr. Craig. You're providing a great service for the community. I'm going to tell all of my players about daily AI prompts for job seekers with William Craig III.